欢迎来到中加建交50周年暨曼尼托巴省150周年庆祝活动，请大家起立奏两国国歌。
Welcome to the celebration of 150 years of Manitoba joining Confederation as Canada's 5th province, and the 50th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between Canada and the People's Republic of China. Please rise for the national anthems of Canada and the People's Republic of China.
女士们、先生们、朋友们，大家好！今年是中加建交50周年。1970年10月13日，中国和加拿大正式建立外交关系，这标志着东西方两个大国跨越大洋，走近彼此，携手向前。中加友好交往源远流长。100多年前，第一批华人来到加拿大，参与太平洋铁路的修建，为加拿大的早期发展做出了重要贡献。80多年前，白求恩医生不远万里奔赴中国，支持中国人民开展抗日战争，让很多中国人知道了加拿大这个遥远的国度，并对家国人民产生了友好的感情。1958年至1962年严重的自然灾害是中国近代史上最艰难的时期之一。3年的大饥荒让数百万人丧生，而加拿大正是愿意为中国提供粮食救济的少数几个国家之一。1961年，中国进口粮食总量的40%都来自加拿大。尽管美国反对，加拿大时任总理还是设法与中国签署了一笔235万吨的加拿大谷物订单，并接受仅25%的首付金额，这给当时财力短缺的中国带来了一线生机。今年也恰逢曼尼托巴省加入联邦政府150年。1870年5月12日，曼尼托巴省的曼尼托巴法案由加拿大议会通过，并得到皇家同意。当时，曼尼托巴作为第5个省份加入加拿大联邦政府。在这样值得纪念的年度，我们组委会特举办这次 中加建交50周年暨曼省150周年庆祝活动，让我们一起来为中加两国经济、文化、商贸等多方面的友好交往喝彩，并祝曼省150岁生日快乐！谢谢大家 ，Thank you。
Good evening. Former Governor General, the Right Honorable Ed Schreier, His Excellency Song Pei-Wu, Ambassador to the People's Republic of China, the Honorable Mary Ng, the Minister representing the federal government, along with Parliamentary Secretary Terry Duguid, MLA Andrew Smith representing the province of Manitoba, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 First Nations territory in the traditional land of the Métis. Today, we celebrate the 150th anniversary of Manitoba entering Confederation of Canada, the 5th province to do so. And in particular, today, we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between Canada and the People's Republic of China. To mark these historical events, we are also making history with a virtual reception that connects people in Manitoba, in Canada, with people in China simultaneously. In Manitoba and Canada, we recognize the thousands of years of Indigenous history on this land. We acknowledge the 150th anniversary of Manitoba's being the 5th province to enter Canada, and in particular, the struggle of the Métis, led by Louis Riel and many others who are part of this historic event. And we celebrate the 50th anniversary of Canada-China diplomatic relations. In doing so, we acknowledge the historic importance of the Manitoba-Chinese connection that goes back to the first Chinese-Canadian settlement in the 1870s through to today, and the growing Chinese community in Winnipeg and throughout Manitoba. Today, we will hear speakers that will talk about just how much the relationship between Canada and China has grown over the last 50 years, to the point where China is Canada's second largest export and trade partner. We will hear from people from all levels of government, from communities throughout Manitoba, who will talk about just how important that connection is to our businesses, educational institutions, health sector, agriculture, resource sector, cultural sector, and so much more. Today, as we hear from the many speakers, and as we later connect with our regional partners in China, and in particular enjoy our spectacular entertainment program, we will reflect on the past 50 years and the huge potential this relationship can bring in the future. Thank you.
我们非常荣幸地邀请到了中华人民共和国驻加拿大特命全权大使聪培武先生。下面有请聪培武大使致辞。
To have the honor of the participation of His Excellency Song Pei-Wu, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China, and no stranger to Winnipeg. Ambassador Pei-Wu made an official visit to Manitoba last December and attended a very successful public event in Winnipeg. With our thanks and honor, thank you and welcome Ambassador Song Pei-Wu.
Right Honorable former Governor General Edward Schreier, Honorable Minister Mary Ng, Mr. Terry Duguid, Mr. Steve Ashton, ladies and gentlemen, friends, good evening. I'm delighted to join you to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of China-Canada diplomatic relations and the Manitoba 150th birthday. I recall with good memory of my visit to Manitoba last December. I'm very impressed by the hospitality of the local community. Over the past 50 years, the relations between China and Canada have made remarkable progress thanks to the joint efforts of the two sides. China has been the second largest trading partner of Canada for several consecutive years. The two countries have conducted fruitful cooperation in many sectors. After the outbreak of the COVID-19, our two countries supported each other and worked together in the fight against the pandemic. It has been proved once and again that sound and stable China-Canada relations serve the common interests of the two peoples. The friendly exchange between China and Manitoba enjoy a long history. As early as 60 years ago, Manitoba began to export wheat to China. At present, the friendly relationship between China and Manitoba is developing in a vigorous way. China is the second largest trading partner and third largest export market of Manitoba. The famous products of Manitoba, like pork, wheat, and barley, are very popular among Chinese consumers. The enterprises of Manitoba also actively participated in China International Import-Export and reached a number of major commercial cooperation agreements with Chinese enterprises. China's Henan province and Chengdu city have established sister relations with Manitoba and Winnipeg respectively, and about 4,000 Chinese students are studying in Manitoba. The recently concluded 5th plenary session of the 19th CPC Central Committee called for the faster establishment of a new development paradigm, with domestic circulation as the mainstay and domestic and international circulations reinforcing each other. This new development paradigm is by no means a closed-door policy. Instead, it urges efforts on both the supply and the demand sides to ensure an unimpeded flow in production, distribution, exchange, and consumption. While making the Chinese economy more resilient and competitive, it also aims to build a new system of open economy of higher standards and carry on opening up in more fields with broader range and greater depth. China is willing to share its new development opportunities with all countries and achieve peaceful coexistence and mutual development based on mutual respect, equality, and mutual benefit. Under the new development paradigm, the potential of the China's market will be fully stimulated to create more demand for the rest of the world. China will open its door wider to the outside world and share development opportunities with other countries. Manitoba and China enjoy broad prospects for cooperation. Manitoba enjoys strong competitive advantages in agricultural products and food processing, environmental protection technology, aerospace, medical and healthcare, and many other fields. We hope that the enterprises in Manitoba can seize the opportunity of China's further opening up and deepen practical cooperation with China. Due to some well-known reasons, China-Canada relations are going through serious difficulties, which will inevitably affect the exchange and cooperation between the two countries. We urge the Canadian government to make a decision at an early date to remove obstacles in our bilateral relations and create conditions for releasing the potential of bilateral cooperation. I know many overseas Chinese are attending this event. I would like to take this opportunity to express my appreciation for your efforts in promoting mutual understanding and friendship between our two peoples. I hope you will continue to be bridge builders of China-Canada relations and make efforts to push forward the development of our bilateral ties. To conclude, I wish this event a complete success. I also wish you a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. Thank you.
我们还非常荣幸地邀请到了加拿大联邦政府国际贸易部部长兼小型企业与出口部部长武凤仪 Mary N 女士，有请 Mary N。
We are very pleased to welcome Her Honorable Mary Ng, Minister of Small Business, Export Promotion, and International Trade, to bring greetings. Minister Ng is a member of the Canada-China Legislative Association and member of Parliament for Markham Thornhill, and has a strong personal connection to Winnipeg. Please welcome Minister Mary Ng.
Bonjour, hello, ni hao, li ho. Thank you to the Manitoba Celebration Committee for having me and for organizing this event to commemorate 50 years of Canada-China diplomatic relations. I would like to extend greetings to His Excellency Mr. Song Pei-Wu, Ambassador of the People's Republic of China to Canada. I would also like to recognize my wonderful colleague and your local member of Parliament for Winnipeg South, Terry Duguid, for being a strong advocate on behalf of your community in Ottawa. I'm glad to speak to you today, and I would like to thank you for the important work that you are doing to help build a strong Chinese-Canadian community in Manitoba and beyond. Some of you may know this, but when my family and I first immigrated to Canada, Winnipeg was the first city I lived in. So it's always wonderful to connect with Winnipeggers, even virtually, like we are today. The fabric of our vibrant and diverse country is built by stories like mine and yours. Diversity is not just our strength, it is the key to creating a better, more prosperous Canada. As Canada and China mark 50 years of formal diplomatic relations, we must acknowledge that our relationship is complex and multidimensional. Our priorities remain securing the immediate release of Canadians Michael Spavor and Michael Kovrig, and clemency for Canadians like Robert Schellenberg, who are facing the death penalty in China. I want to reiterate that regardless of what shape Canada's relationship with China takes, our trade policies with China will continue to reflect the interests and values of Canadians. And China should expect that Canadians will bring their values with them no matter where they go in the world. At the same time, we cannot let the bilateral relationship negatively impact the strong people-to-people ties that span across our communities. As Asian Canadians, we have so much to be proud of, and I want to recognize the important work that organizations like yours do in bringing together Asian Canadians, Chinese Canadians. And I want to wish all of you a very positive, productive event and a safe and happy holiday season. I hope to join you in person again soon, once it is safe to do so. Thank you. Merci. Sisi. 多谢。
下面有请加拿大联邦政府前任国家总督、中加两国建交时曼尼托巴省时任省长 Edward Schreier 先生致辞。
Very pleased to bring greetings on behalf of His Right Honorable Edward Schreier, former Governor General of Canada, former Member of Parliament, the 16th Premier of Manitoba, and also the High Commissioner, equivalent to Ambassador to Australia. Mr. Schreier has a very direct and personal connection with the 50th anniversary, having been Premier of the province in 1970. And it's important to note that, again, Manitoba was the first jurisdiction in Canada to trade with China, in this case through the trade of wheat, through the then Canada Wheat Board. Mr. Schreier has also got a strong connection on the cultural side as an honorary advisor to the Canadian Foundation for the Preservation of Chinese Cultural and Historical Treasures. We had scheduled a video recording of Mr. Schreier's remarks, but because of COVID-19 restrictions, we had to cancel that. And it's very important, if I can pass on the greetings on behalf of Mr. Schreier. Mr. Schreier has a unique perspective on what happened in 1970. As Premier of the province, it was the first jurisdiction in Canada to trade with China after the diplomatic recognition. Ed Schreier was very much the host of history. Once again, we thank Mr. Schreier for his strong commitment to building Canada-China relations over the years. Mr. Schreier did ask me to personally pass on that he will be making his lengthier contribution personally when the opportunity arises, but we are very honored, very, very honored to have him connect with us virtually tonight. We thank you, Mr. Schreier, for your involvement very much in building history 50 years ago. And as we look ahead to the future, we thank you for all of your participation and are very honored to have your attendance today, your patronage today. Thank you, Honorable, Right Honorable Edward Schreier, former Governor General of Canada.
下面进行致辞的是加拿大联邦政府温尼伯南区国会议员 Terry Duguid 先生。Terry 是我们温尼伯华人非常熟悉的国会议员，他也是2届连任的国会议员。有请 Terry Duguid 先生。
We're very pleased to welcome our next speaker, and it's someone that we are all of us familiar with and as a friend. Of course, also in his role as a now 2-term member of Parliament for Winnipeg South. Terry Duguid is the past Vice Chair of the Canada-China Legislative Association and is a current member of the Canada-China Legislative Association. Terry's formal role is as Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Economic Development and Official Languages, the Western Economic Diversification Canada, an agency very involved with Canada-China Economic Development, and also Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Environment and Climate Change to the Canada Water Agency. Please welcome Terry Duguid, Member of Parliament.
Well, thank you, Steve. Good evening, everyone. It's wonderful to be with you today on Treaty 1 territory, the homeland of the Métis Nation, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Canada-China relationship and Manitoba's 150th birthday. And as we celebrate Manitoba 150, we remember and honor our Métis community and Louis Riel, who led our province into Confederation. And in this special year, we think of the many contributions of the Chinese community over the last century and a half to our nation and our province, from building a national railway to representing communities in provincial legislatures and the Parliament of Canada. And despite facing great adversity and discrimination in some darker parts of our past, the Chinese community has flourished and remains a vital part of our nation's fabric. Today, we also remember some of our modern pioneers like Dr. Joseph Du and Philip and Anita Lee, who are very much responsible for the lively Chinatown that we cherish today and the vibrant Chinese culture that is shared all year long at the Winnipeg Chinese Cultural Center. And because of leaders like our Manitoba hosts for this celebration, Zhu Yong Zhang and George Wong, the Chinese community contributes so mightily to the arts, culture, business, and government at all levels, and is an essential part of our multicultural mosaic here in Manitoba. And I am so proud to represent the largest and fastest growing Chinese Canadian community in Manitoba in South Winnipeg. I have the privilege of serving the University of Manitoba campus, which hosts a large number of Chinese students and many talented professors and researchers of Chinese heritage who are leading groundbreaking research in infectious diseases like COVID-19 and other important areas that are improving the quality of life in Canada and around the world. I'd like to take a moment to welcome the Chinese ambassador to Canada, His Excellency Song Pei-Wu, to this event tonight as we mark the 50th anniversary of China-Canada relations. Tonight's celebrations have brought back a number of fond memories for me. As a young city councillor, I was one of the decision makers who helped bring the pandas to Winnipeg in the 1990s to celebrate our sister city relationship with Chengdu. Years later, in 2017, I had the opportunity to visit China and the city of Chengdu as part of a parliamentary mission, where I was able to visit the panda breeding facility and to sample Sichuan cuisine like hot pot. Wow, I just loved it. Our delegation spent time in other important cultural and economic centers in China, such as Xi'an, Yushu, Xining, and of course, Beijing. Amazing places all. My fondest memories, of course, are of the generous, warm welcome we received from the Chinese people, who are just like the warm and welcoming Chinese Canadian citizens of my Winnipeg South District. The Canada-China relationship is very important, and we value the people-to-people ties between our nations, as Minister Ng said, and like all relationships, we need to work at it. And also, as Minister Ng said, we need to bring our two Michaels home. And we know that in a world of pandemics, climate change, trade uncertainty, and other pressing global problems, all nations need to work together, and our two countries can play a special role in some of the greatest challenges of our time. Once again, it's a pleasure to be with you to celebrate the contributions of the Chinese community in Manitoba, as well as the 50 years of diplomatic relations between Canada and the People's Republic of China. As we look forward to 2021, I wish you all better days ahead, filled with health, joy, and prosperity. Indeed, there are better days ahead. Stay safe.
接下来有请加拿大联邦政府曼省北部丘吉尔区国会议员 Nikki Ashton 女士，她是4届连任的国会议员，也是最年轻的国会议员之一。有请 Nikki Ashton 女士。
We are very pleased to welcome the 4-term member of parliament for Churchill Coetnogaski in northern Manitoba. Nikki Ashton is the NDP critic for transport, deputy critic for women and gender equality. Nikki is fluent in 4 languages and has studied many others, including Mandarin Chinese. Please welcome Nikki Ashton, Member of Parliament for Churchill Coetnogaski.
Good evening. I'd like to acknowledge that I'm joining you from Treaty 5 territory, the traditional territory of the Nisichawasi Cree Nation. Former Governor General Ed Schreier, Ambassador Song Pei-Wu, Minister Ng, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor to speak today at this event, marking the 150th anniversary of Manitoba entering Confederation and the 50th anniversary of Canada-China diplomatic relations. Tonight, I want to recognize the importance of these anniversaries, how much has been accomplished, how much we can do in the future. Manitoba has many connections with China, a Chinese Canadian community that goes back to the 1870s, which has been growing in recent years. I also have a personal connection with China. I studied in Hong Kong, in China. I learned Mandarin, Putonghua, from my teacher Lee Cripps in Thompson, and the Winnipeg Chinese Cultural Center. As a volunteer at the Athens Olympics, I was placed with the Chinese team. I have learned myself how China has contributed so much to the world, to Canada, throughout history. Manitoba has a key role in the relationship between Canada and China. The first trade in 1970, after the recognition, was wheat from Manitoba. Since that time, China has become the second largest trading partner for Manitoba and for Canada. Canada is the second largest destination for tourists, and thousands of Chinese students are welcome to our post-secondary institutions every year. Chinese and Canadian companies are involved in more and more ventures. Tens of thousands of jobs are directly related to the relationship between Canada and China. The potential for the future, just look at our region here in northern Manitoba. Already, China is the main market for mineral and other resources. Chinese investments in mining have opened up mines, created opportunities and jobs. But there is so much more that we can do. We have the Port of Churchill, Canada's only deepwater Arctic seaport. We have mining, forestry, green power, and our people. From Indigenous peoples to new Canadians from around the world, this is one of the youngest regions in Canada and is full of potential. I also want to acknowledge the importance of the Indigenous communities, First Nations, and Métis peoples, their traditional rights, their inherent rights, and the growing leadership we've seen in terms of economic development, which is critical to the future potential of Canada and the future potential of Canada-Chinese economic initiatives here in Manitoba. In conclusion, I want to stress the importance of what we are celebrating today, 50 years of building a relationship that benefits all of us. Here is to even more progress on this important relationship into the future. Thank you. 谢谢。
下一位致辞的嘉宾是曼省温尼伯东南区省议员 Andrew Smith 先生。
We're very pleased to welcome, representing Manitoba Premier Brian Pallister, the Premier of Manitoba and the Government of Manitoba, Andrew Smith, the member of the Legislative Assembly for Lagimaudière, and the Legislative Assistant to the Minister of Culture, Heritage, and Sport. We would like to again thank him for attending and bringing greetings on behalf of the Honourable Premier Brian Pallister and the Government of Manitoba. Please welcome Andrew Smith, MLA.
大家晚上好. It is a tremendous honor to be here tonight on behalf of Premier Brian Pallister and all my colleagues at the Manitoba Legislative Assembly on this very significant milestone. October 13th marked the 50th anniversary of the start of diplomatic relations between Canada and the People's Republic of China. But our people-to-people connections began many years back, over 100 years ago, with the establishment of the first Chinese community here in Winnipeg. And it is those connections that are at the heart of our shared relationship. It was through growing these personal connections that Manitoba's relationship with China began to flourish in a number of areas through trade, agriculture, research and development, healthcare and medicine, international education, clean technology, life sciences, arts, and culture. Manitoba has developed strong ties with several Chinese provinces, but most importantly, to Winnipeg is our sister city, Chengdu, in Sichuan province, which further demonstrates our shared connections. Manitoba is home to a vibrant and growing Chinese community, and the efforts and contributions of these Manitobans that help make our province a better place. As we celebrate Manitoba's 150th birthday, we're also celebrating the diversity and greatness of our multicultural society. We recognize the many achievements by Manitobans of Chinese ethnicity to our province and to our provincial fabric. We hope we will get a chance to celebrate Manitoba 150 in person later this year in 2021. Thank you. 谢谢.
张 Reyes 先生是曼省温尼伯南区华人熟悉的省议员，同时兼任曼省军队事务特使。有请张 Reyes 先生致辞。
We're very pleased to welcome our next speaker, John Reyes, who is the member of the Legislative Assembly of Manitoba for Waverley, also Manitoba's Special Envoy for Military Affairs, and certainly no stranger and a friend of the community. Please welcome John Reyes, MLA.
My apologies. As the member of the Legislative Assembly for Waverley, I'm pleased to extend a warm welcome to those participating virtually at today's 50th anniversary of the establishment of the Canada-China Diplomatic Relationship event. The year 2020 also marks not only 50 years of relationship building between the two countries, but also Manitoba's 150th anniversary as Canada's 5th province. In my constituency of Waverley, I'm proud to represent a large and growing number of constituents from China who study, work, shop, and live in such a vibrant community. Manitoba is an excellent choice for international students to receive an education. Our education system and institutions are internationally recognized with the state-of-the-art facilities, teachers, and professors. Our tuition remains one of the lowest and is very competitive across Canada, and that is why many choose Manitoba to receive a college or university education. Manitoba continues to be one of the first choice destinations for many individuals coming from China. We are known as friendly Manitoba. And while we do have very cold winters, I must tell you that our cities and towns and its people are very welcoming for new Chinese immigrants to live and prosper. Our Manitoba provincial government nominee program, our province, and certainly my own constituency that I represent will always welcome the diverse, multicultural, and hard work ethic that Chinese people bring when they arrive here. Our greatest strength is our people, and new immigrants make Manitoba even stronger, thus enriching our cultures, filling jobs, needs, and creating new ones for themselves and others. As an elected official, I've seen firsthand in my community the many success stories in education and in business. When international students come from China to study for a few years, they often end up staying for many more years and even decades living here as they discover what our beautiful province has to offer and the many opportunities that exist after graduation. Manitoba is a great place to get educated, to raise a family, and give back to the community. I've also seen firsthand how those from China have successfully set up businesses in Waverley and across Manitoba to the benefit of their communities. Manitoba is always welcome for business. In closing, this event will be one to remember as we celebrate Canadian and Chinese culture, heritage, and descent through dialogue, speeches, and entertainment. I wish all attendees an enjoyable time. I join my colleague, MLA Andrew Smith, at the Manitoba Legislative Assembly in thanking the Manitoba Celebration Committee and the many volunteers for the work they do to ensure that today's event is recognized and celebrated by participants across Manitoba, Canada, and throughout China and everywhere where you're watching. Thank you. 谢谢。
下面致辞的也是我们温尼伯华人比较熟悉的温尼伯西南区市议员 Janice Lux 女士。
We're very pleased to welcome the City Council of the City of Winnipeg, another friend of the community and certainly a familiar face. And it's important to note in introducing her that once again, as many people have recognized today, that Winnipeg is the sister city to Chengdu in China, has been since the late 1980s into the 1990s. And we're very pleased tonight. Please welcome Councillor Janice Lux.
Good evening, everyone. Bonjour, ni hao. I'd like to acknowledge and welcome our honored guests and thank the organizing committee for putting this together. and for the spectacular video at the beginning showing many aspects of China and the beautiful, beautiful sparkling cities. I'm the city councilor for Waverly West in Southwest Winnipeg. We have one of the fastest growing populations of Chinese community in the entire city. At the city council level, you are very connected and close to the people. And I have just incredible relationships with many of the Chinese throughout Winnipeg and in South Winnipeg. We have sister city, of course, Chengdu. We've hosted many dignitaries at City Hall when they've come to Winnipeg. Also in South Winnipeg, it's been a great privilege of mine to name a very beautiful park, Huamalan Park, to recognize the strong Chinese women that we know and to honor the great tradition and the great honor amongst Chinese families. I see myself as a bridge builder, you know, as mentioned earlier, people-to-people connector. The city of Winnipeg has so many strong, amazing Chinese people that we work with. And it's just a great pleasure to be so involved, to participate in the celebrations of New Year's and the many, many beautiful festivals. And I look forward tonight to the spectacular performances. We've had performers come from all over the world. It is an incredible opportunity to be celebrating Manitoba's 150th and also the 50th anniversary of Canada-Chinese relations. And countries all over the world have challenges, and I think, you know, we work together, we work with each other, and eventually we work through them. But the contribution that the Chinese community has made to Winnipeg over the many, many decades has been something that has built our city and strengthened our city. And it's incredibly a wonderful relationship. And on behalf of Mayor Brian Bowman and my city councilor colleagues, I want to thank you for having me here this evening and for being able to participate in this extremely educational opportunity. Ni hao, thank you, Shishi.
很多朋友都知道曼省的丘吉尔市，这是我们曼省北部的一个城市，靠近北极，也是加拿大最靠北的城市。丘吉尔市以世界珍贵的北极熊和美轮美奂的极光闻名遐迩，每年都有众多游客到丘吉尔观看野生北极熊、白鲸、北美驯鹿以及极光。下面我们有请丘吉尔市市长 Mike Spence 先生致辞。
We're very pleased to welcome Mike Spence, the mayor of the town of Churchill. Churchill right now is in the middle of a blizzard and is very well known for its many seasons of tourist attractions, most notably the polar bears, but also as you'll see in the upcoming presentation, beluga whales. It's also the location of Canada's only deep water Arctic seaport. Mike Spence is both the mayor of Churchill and probably one of its biggest promoters, if not its biggest promoter. So we're very pleased to welcome His Worship, Mayor Mike Spence.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Greetings, everyone. Ambassador, distinguished guests. I am speaking to you from Treaty 5, the traditional territory of the Cree, Dene, Inuit, and the Métis, but also boasting from the top of the province. Very pleased to be a part of the celebration, recognizing this milestone of the 50th anniversary of this partnership of Canada-China diplomatic relationship, and also Manitoba's 150th birthday. Our community continues to see the benefits of this relationship through tourism. As you know, we boast about being an international tourism destination, the polar bear capital of the world, fast becoming the beluga whale capital of the world. Also, the the many, many sightings of the Aurora Borealis, winter tourism. All this has been brought together by the Tourism Association with Travel Manitoba, partnering with your tourism association. I had the opportunity to speak to the Ambassador Piyun on the opportunities that lay ahead of us. The opportunities in science research. Climate change is real. The opportunity for trade through the Port of Churchill. So there are many opportunities in the future, and we look forward to the continued relationship. Again, congratulations on the 50th anniversary of this partnership, and also the 150th birthday of Manitoba. I wish you all a very safe and a happy holiday season coming forward. Thank you.
让我们一起来欣赏丘吉尔市的极地风光和神秘梦幻的极光。
This video gives you some great sense of what Churchill has to offer. The polar bears, an incredible sight. Something people always remember. The Port of Churchill, again, the only deep-water Arctic seaport in Canada, very strategically located. The beluga whales, Mayor Spence said, increasingly becoming a focus of tourism and ecotourism with tourists around the world. And the landscape, unique Churchill landscape. The town center, established by the Right Honorable Ed Schreier when he was premier.
When the lights are out, the lights go out.
A real tradition. Doesn't get any better than the Aurora Borealis. Northern Lights in Churchill.
It's one of the best places in the world.
在曼省省会温尼伯东北方向100公里处，有一座美丽的旅游城市，叫做 Pinawa。这里是全加拿大人均学历水平最高的城市。由于联邦政府国家级核能研究所坐落于此，很多研究人员都拥有博士学位。下面有请 Pinawa 市市长 Blair Skinner 先生致辞。
We're very pleased to welcome Mayor Blair Skinner, the mayor of the local government district of Pinawa in Manitoba. Pinawa, located just a short distance from Winnipeg, is in a beautiful setting that in itself is worthy of note. But it also has another very distinctive characteristic. It's the municipality in Canada with the highest level of education per capita. A lot of this goes back to the roots with the National Institute for Nuclear Energy of the federal government, and much of the research that was done, that continuing focus is there today. So we're very pleased to welcome Blair Skinner, Mayor of the local government district of Pinawa, Manitoba.
Ni hao. Good evening to everyone in Canada and good morning to viewers in China. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to bring greetings to this amazing event. It is a privilege to share the virtual stage with so many distinguished speakers. It is particularly humbling to share this experience with His Excellency, Mr. Song Pei-Wu, the Honorable Mary Ying, and the Right Honorable Edward Schreier. Our journey to establish a strong relationship with China began with a visit of our Senior Economic Development Officer, Yaisheng Li, our school superintendent, Tim Stefanishin, myself, and others. In April 2017, we traveled to the cities of Herze, Guangzhou, and Shanghai. We were very warmly welcomed by the dignitaries that we met in all three cities, where we formally exchanged information on economic development, support for entrepreneurs, tourism industry, and education programs. During our 13-day visit, we had many social engagements and an opportunity to explore some of the beautiful scenery in China, including the Peony Garden in Herze, the beautiful countryside between cities, temples in Shanghai, and many others. This experience led to the formation of many strong friendships and a commitment by all parties to develop an economic development cooperation between cities and organizations in China with Pinawa, Winnipeg, and the province of Manitoba. I want to particularly acknowledge our growing friendship with Mr. Ma, the former Director of Foreign Affairs Office of Herze People's Government, who is also supporting this event with a letter. The response to our visit in April 2017 was immediate and productive. A few short months later, a delegation came to visit Pinawa and Winnipeg to grow our friendship and to further develop a cooperation to promote entrepreneurs in both of our countries. We were visited by Mr. Zhao Fulong, Director of the Herze City Bureau of Commerce, along with other officers and business leaders to explore opportunities in the area of innovation, education, and business development. In September 2017, the president of the Shanghai Maritime University came to visit Pinawa. This visit led to a group of students from 8 to 14 years of age who came to visit Pinawa and Winnipeg for an excellent education opportunity and to enjoy a few of the many tourist attractions that we have to offer. Another group of college students came to visit in November and experienced snow for the first time. We also received a delegation representing Guangzhou City's tourist and economic development sectors. And we also hosted a group of 200 tourists from the Chinese community in Winnipeg and Terry Duguid's area to spend a glorious summer day in Pinawa. Over the last 3.5 years, we have experienced many opportunities to grow our warm friendships and to strengthen our economic cooperation. COVID-19 has definitely affected the opportunities to expand our friendship with China. However, our Economic Development Officer Yaisheng Li has used this time wisely to work on increasing the economic infrastructure that Pinawa and Manitoba needs to facilitate implementation of our cooperation. Yaisheng Li is also the president of North Forge East and has a close collaboration with North Forge Technology Exchange in Winnipeg. In the last 6 months, he has established a pathway for entrepreneurs through the province's Manitoba Provincial Nominee Program to come directly to Pinawa, and we have already received some referrals. Just last week, we learned that Pinawa is now a designated entity with the Government of Canada's Startup Visa Program. So now Pinawa is the only municipality in Canada that has both a provincial and federal mechanism for entrepreneurs and venture capitalists to come to Pinawa. So as COVID-19 is eventually dealt with and more normal relationships can continue to develop, Pinawa will be well positioned to strengthen our relationship and implement strategic partnerships. Pinawa's history is related to the Canadian nuclear industry, as Mr. Ashton just said. I am pleased to report that today, Canada announced the launch of the Small Modular Reactor Action Plan, and I'm very proud to inform the viewers that Pinawa has submitted a chapter in that action plan. Perhaps Pinawa's vision for providing reliable electricity and improving the quality of life for people in remote communities is another area that we can explore a cooperation together. My greetings today will be followed by a couple of videos that touch on what Pinawa can offer to our visitors. The first video shows the many activities that we enjoyed during the winter season, and the second video features the enthusiastic young students who came from China for an opportunity for some education in learning English, along with the many recreational activities that you can join in Pinawa and Winnipeg. In closing, you are all warmly welcome to visit Pinawa. Yaisheng Li and I are looking forward to our next visit to China. We wish you and your family all the best for a happy holiday season. Shendan Kuai Lo, Xie Xie.
我们一起来欣赏 Pinawa 四季的不同风光，以及中加学术交流夏令营访问 Pinawa 的片段。
To give some sense of what a unique community Pinawa is, on any given day, you will see deer freely moving, speaking of which, freely moving through the community. It is truly a community that is both connected to the Canadian wilderness, has a strong community spirit, and as the mayor has pointed out, not only connected to the world, but increasingly connected in the world. A community with a great research tradition that is very much focusing on connecting to China and throughout the world.
下面致辞的是温尼伯国际机场总裁 Barry Rampel 先生。温尼伯国际机场是加拿大国家机场系统的一部分，也是加拿大中部重要的空中交通枢纽。有请 Barry Rampel 先生。
We are very pleased to welcome our next speaker, Mr. Barry Rampel, the president of the Winnipeg Airport Authority. The Winnipeg Airport Authority is part of Canada's national airport system and is a 24-hour airport that is a major air traffic hub for both passenger traffic and freight traffic, very much strategically located in the center of Canada. Please welcome Mr. Barry Rampel.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Barry Rampel. I am President and CEO of the Winnipeg Airports Authority, and I'm really, really pleased to be able to join you here this evening to help celebrate the 50th anniversary of Canada-China diplomatic relations. At WAA, it is about connecting our community to the world. In 2019, in fact, more than 36,000 people traveled between Winnipeg and China, destined to over 70 Chinese cities. Over half of these were people traveling from or visiting from China. The overall number of travelers continues to grow as the relationship between our two countries evolves. Winnipeg Richardson International is also, however, a really important Canadian cargo hub. The movement of goods between our two countries is a very important part of what helps sustain our business. There is incredible opportunity to continue to grow the air cargo network between Winnipeg and these key Chinese markets in the coming years. I can assure you the airport will be at the heart of all of that. Global travel has been decimated this year, but we will rebound. I look forward to a time very soon when we can continue to see increasing travel between Canada and China. This year's celebration is virtual, but I'm optimistic that soon we will be able to meet again in person, and we will continue to see global travel resume.
接下来，我们有请曼省多元文化节董事会主席斯丹浩先生。曼省多元文化节每年举办一次，是曼省各族裔文化与美食交流的盛会，对促进民族文化的多样性、宣传和弘扬非物质文化起到了很大的推动作用。有请斯丹浩先生致辞。
I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Stan Hall, the president of the board of directors of Folklorama. Folklorama is the Manitoba Multicultural Festival that has been held every year since 1970. So it shares a history with the recognition of Canada-China diplomatic relations today. It's hard to describe it in a few words, but it is a cultural and gastronomic exchange of incredible diversity. Manitoba is a province where more than 100 languages are spoken. And whether it's from indigenous peoples through to people that have come to Canada from out the world, there is no better showcase than Folklorama. Please welcome Mr. Stan Hall, President of the Board of Directors of Folklorama.
Thank you, Steve. That's you took many of the words that I was going to say to celebrate this amazing festival. I'd like to begin by saying thank you to the organizing committee to invite me for tonight's event. I wish we were all in person, but we will be again one day. And thank you to everyone for your time this evening. I am here on behalf of Folklorama, who has just celebrated its 50th anniversary and was founded back in 1970 with the celebration of Manitoba's 100th anniversary. And it gives me great pride and pleasure to acknowledge the contributions of the Chinese community in Winnipeg that has been a part of every single festival. In 1970, they participated by showcasing the lion dance down on King Street before the building that was there, and we're very excited to have that participation every year. We have a past president, Joseph Yen, who was then a city councillor in the city of Winnipeg. That was a past president a number of years ago. And we currently have 2 members of the Chinese community on our board of directors. And we are thrilled that the Chinese community is such a vibrant component in the city of Winnipeg and the province of Manitoba. Though for those of you who are unfamiliar with Folklorama, we are the longest and largest multicultural festival in the world. We are a 2-week-a-year festival. It's our flagship event. And we showcase cultures from around the world right here in Manitoba. It is a mixture of homegrown talent and a mixture of talent that comes in. We most recently had a group from China in 2019, and every few years the pavilions bring in and showcase talent from China to honor the roots and the contributions that the Chinese Canadians have given to the country of Canada. We are thrilled to be part of this tonight, and we look forward to celebrating again. And thank you very much for the opportunity tonight to speak on behalf of Folklorama, and we will open our doors very soon and welcome you all back to Folklorama in the coming years. Thank you very much and have a great evening.
曼省猪产业协会是曼省养猪、屠宰和销售的行业机构，多年来大量猪肉出口中国。有请曼省猪产业协会总经理 Andrew Dixon 先生致辞。
We're very pleased to welcome Mr. Andrew Dixon. The Manitoba Pork Council is the industry organization for the pork producers in Manitoba. And as the ambassador from China pointed out earlier in the presentation, a very significant export to China is of pork, particularly from here in Manitoba. There are very strong connections between our agriculture community generally, and particularly with the pork producers in our province. Please welcome Mr. Andrew Dixon, General Manager of the Manitoba Pork Council.
Thank you, Mr. Ambassador and distinguished guests. I want to bring greetings on behalf of Manitoba Pork Council. We represent the pork producers in the province. We're the largest pork producers in Canada, And Canada is one of the world's largest exporters of pork in the world. And we're here tonight to celebrate this unique trade relationship that's developed in the last 50 years with the great country of China. Pork is the most popular meat dish in China. Half the pigs in the world live in China. There's something like 500 million pigs live in the country. And it's a huge market for us. And it's grown rapidly in the last number of years to the point where China has now become our second largest market for pork products. And we supply a very high quality, a very safe and nutritious product for certain markets in China. We have very clear relationships with Chinese companies. We've also involved in selling genetics, in other words, breeding animals to Chinese farmers to rebuild their herds. It's not widely known, but China has unfortunately had to go through a very severe outbreak of a thing called African swine fever, and has decimated the herds in many rural areas. And Chinese farmers are now rebuilding their production, and they hope to be back in full production within a year or so. And we in Canada are playing a part in that. And we have veterinarians that come from Canada that go and work with Chinese, their counterparts, in terms of trying to get on top of these diseases and working in improving production. We are a cold climate here in Manitoba, so our productivity in our sow herd is very, very high. It's an ideal climate. And we would like to increase our trade with China. In fact, we've developed strong relationships with Japanese companies, Thai companies, and we would like to invite Chinese companies to come and invest in Manitoba so that we can increase and build our business and export more products, high quality products, to the Chinese market. There are unique opportunities as your country develops and the standard of living continues to rise. And we would like to be able to develop more specialized products that meet those market requirements. We're part of an international trading system. And it's great to see that China has joined that whole international system of stability with what's been organized by the World Trade Organization. And this, by following rules internationally, we can all learn how to trade together and make money and supply our customers with safe, nutritious products. So this is Christmas time for us. As you can see, I got this picture of my Christmas tree in the background, and it's a time of celebration. And it's an amazing evening tonight. We celebrate Chinese Pig of the Year every 10 years or so, and with a festival downtown, and we were glad to be a sponsor of that. And we would encourage any Chinese company to come and visit with us, and we would explore some opportunities with them. So on behalf of our producers, we wish you all a very good new year, and hopefully we will continue and build this relationship. And thank you to the organizers of this event. And by putting this sort of thing on in the middle of this COVID disease, it's an extra effort, and it's well worth doing it. Thank you very much.
曼省温尼伯有一所最大的私立英语培训学校——新田英语学校。我们很多华人同胞都在这所学校学习过。下面有请新田英语学校校长 Gary 格魏先生致辞。
Very pleased to welcome Gary Gervais. Manitoba is a destination for students, international students, and particularly from China. We have welcomed many students, both for English language training and for post-secondary education. We're very pleased to introduce from the largest international private English training school in Manitoba, Mr. Gary Gervais.
My name is Gary Gervais. I'm the owner of Heartland International English School in Winnipeg. At Heartland, we teach English to international students, and many of those students are Chinese. So it's an honor to be here to help celebrate this 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between China and Canada. It's not widely recognized, but international education is one of the largest trade exports between Canada and China. But beyond the economic value that international students bring to Canada, there's also the great social aspect as well. Students who study here and go back to China are cultural ambassadors for Canada. And those that stay on to become permanent residents or citizens continue to contribute to Canadian society. So as we celebrate this 50th anniversary, let's also take the time to celebrate all the international students over the years that have really made this such a wonderful relationship between our two countries and made it so positive. So thank you for inviting me to be part of this. Thank you to the organizers for all the work they've done. I look forward to this great celebration.
接下来有请七橡树综合医院和加拿大健康研究所所长兼首席运营官凯瑞女士，她也是加中贸易理事会论坛专家。凯瑞为我们致辞之后，会通过视频介绍加拿大健康研究所在中国的合作项目。有请凯瑞。
We're very pleased next to introduce Carrie Solmonson, the President and Chief Operating Officer of the Seven Oaks General Hospital and the Canada Wellness Institute. Canada has a particularly unique connection to China in the healthcare sector. Certainly many people in China will always remember Norman Bethune. In the modern day era, there are new partnerships that are continuing that historic connection between Canada and China. In particular, the Seven Oaks General Hospital and the Canada Wellness Institute is currently involved with many collaborative products or productions and projects in China itself. I'm very pleased to welcome Carrie Solmonson, the President and CEO of the Seven Oaks General Hospital and the Canada Wellness Institute.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Carrie Solmonson, and I'm the President and CEO of Seven Oaks Hospital Chronic Disease Research Center. And I'm here this evening to bring greetings on behalf of the Hospital Foundation, as well as the Wellness Institute, and to recognize and celebrate the anniversary of China-Canada diplomatic relations over the past 50 years. We as a hospital have been very fortunate over the past few years to have been able to work with China, specifically the healthcare sector. And about 6 years ago, we were hosting a large delegation from the China Hospital Association in Winnipeg who came to see our hospital and also the Wellness Institute and became very interested in how we might collaborate. So fast forward 6 years, we now have 6 Canada Wellness Institute sites in China. We have partnerships with not only the China Hospital Association, China Medical Doctor Association, some of the larger hospitals, 301 Hospital, Peking Yun Hospital, where we're collaborating on training and research. And we're very excited as we have more Canada Wellness sites underway in China, and we've been very fortunate to work together with people to bring our expertise and know-how to China, and at the same time learn from China on how they deliver healthcare services and how we can best develop a model that meets the needs of the Chinese population. So with that, I have a short video that showcases one of our first projects, one of our first sites that we opened back in 2014, and I hope you enjoy it. And again, thank you to the organizing committee for including us, and congratulations on this celebration. Xie xie.
All right, one narrow and one wide road. Canada Wellness Institute are going to be leaders of medical fitness in China. They have set the gold standard with the state-of-the-art building and equipment, their innovative programming, and the expertise of their staff.
I believe this unique and first-of-its-kind facility in China will help the people of Rizhao become healthier and have less chronic disease.
3月8日就是我们全民健康活动日，健康管理，你我同行，大型公益签名活动，为健康助力，为公益加油。
天津作为4大直辖市的代表，对本次活动表示祝贺。下面有请天津市国际文化交流促进会会长梁昌远先生致辞，同时为我们展示金门故里的风采。有请梁昌远。
Tianjin City is the representative of China's 4 municipalities directly under the central government and brings greetings to this event. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Liang Changhuan, Chairman of the Tianjin Association for International Cultural Exchange, to give a speech and to show us the style of Tianjin City. Mr. Liang Chang.
加拿大的各位朋友们，大家晚上好。我是天津市国际文化交流促进会执行会长梁昌远。今天由我代表天津市国际文化交流促进会致贺词。尊敬的加拿大联邦政府国际贸易部部长、小型企业与出口部部长我凤仪阁下，尊敬的中华人民共和国驻加拿大特命全权大使丛培武阁下，正值中加建交50周年之际，喜闻会组委会举办线上庆祝中加建交50周年活动。为此，我代表天津市国际文化交流促进会表示祝贺。天津是中国的直辖市。回顾天津市与加拿大城市的友好往来历史，在2009年9月11日，天津东丽区与加拿大本纳比市结为了友好城市。在2018年3月27日，加拿大多伦多市政府通过了天津与多伦多建立友好城市议案，希望随着两国文化民间友好往来，促成天津与加拿大更多的城市缔结成友好城市。为了增加加拿大朋友对天津的了解，以及增加本次线上活动的欢乐氛围，我们选送了纪录片《天津》、画中人旗袍秀表演、吉祥如意舞蹈等视频节目，希望在线的加拿大朋友更多的了解天津，喜欢天津。也欢迎加拿大朋友、华人有机会到天津旅游观光、投资发展。同时，面对加拿大遭受第2波疫情冲击，我们希望各位加拿大朋友、华人、华侨时刻把安全和健康放在第一位，做好个人和家庭防护，守望相助，共克时艰，早日战胜疫情。祝贺本次线上庆祝中加建交50周年暨曼省150年活动圆满成功。
Greeting from Tianjin International Cultural Exchange Promotion Association. Our Honorable Marine Minister of International Trade, Small Business and Export Promotion, His Excellency Mr.丛培武, Chinese Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary to Canada. On behalf of Tianjin International Cultural Promotion Association, I have the pleasure to bring greeting to your virtual celebration of 50th anniversary of Canada-China diplomatic relationship and Manitoba 150. Tianjin is one of the 4 direct administer municipalities in China. Looking back into friendly history between Tianjin and Canadian cities, on September 11, 2009, Dongli District in Tianjin and Burnaby, BC, signed the Friendship Cities Agreement. On March 27, 2018, City of Toronto passed a motion for establishing Friendship City relationship between Tianjin and Toronto, along with a cultural and friendly people-to-people exchange between two countries. I hope Tianjin can form Friendship City relationships with more Canadian cities to increase Canadian friends' understanding of Tianjin and to add to the festive atmosphere of this online celebration. We selected Tianjin, an auspicious dance, with the hope that friends viewing online will better understand Tianjin and be fond of Tianjin. We also welcome Canadian friends and Chinese Canadians to visit Tianjin for tourism, investment, and business development. At the same time, during the second wave of pandemic, we wish all Canadian friends, ethnic Chinese and overseas Chinese can put health and safety in the first priority, protect your family and yourself, watch for and help each other to overcome the current difficulties and the pandemics as soon as possible. Wishing you great success on the virtual celebration of Canada-China 50 and Manitoba 150. Liang Chanyuan, President, Tianjin International Cultural Exchange Promotion Association.
四川省成都市与我们曼省威尼伯市是友好姐妹城市。下面有请四川省侨联文化交流促进会宋问丽会长致辞，同时为我们展示大美四川的风光。有请宋问丽。
Chengdu in Sichuan Province and Winnipeg in Manitoba are sister cities. A long-term relationship going back to the original exchange of polar bears and panda bears. I'd like to invite the chair of the Sichuan Association for International Cultural Exchanges, Ms. Song Wei-Ki, to bring greetings and to showcase the beautiful scenery of the Sichuan province. Please welcome Ms. Song Wen-Ki.
尊敬的加拿大联邦政府国际贸易部部长、小型企业与出口部部长武凤仪阁下，尊敬的中华人民共和国驻加拿大特命全权大使丛培武阁下，女士们、先生们，大家晚上好。我是四川省侨联文化交流促进委员会会长宋文丽，非常荣幸出席今天的线上庆祝活动。首先，我谨代表四川省侨联文化交流促进委员会，对中加建交50周年暨曼省150年庆祝活动表示热烈的祝贺。1988年，四川省成都市与曼尼托巴省温尼伯市缔结为国际友好城市。成都是大熊猫的故乡，而温尼伯是小熊维尼名字的诞生地。两座城市在既往的岁月里开展了广泛的文化交流，结下了深厚的友谊。欣慰得知本次活动有居住在温尼伯的华人、华侨和当地民众联合举办，这是一个很好体现民心相通的例证。在曼尼托巴省有许多来自四川的留学生和侨民，为促进曼尼托巴省与四川省的友好往来做了许多有益的工作，架起了友谊的桥梁。为促进中加文化交流合作，我们特意为本次活动选送了天府四川、 天府成都视频节目，希望曼尼托巴、温尼伯的朋友们对四川和成都有更深的了解。待疫情结束后，多来四川走走看看。我们相信，随着中加民间文化交流的广度与深度不断加大，中加人民的友好情谊之花必将更加绚烂。祝中加友谊永长存，祝本次庆祝活动圆满成功。谢谢大家。
Honorable Mary Ann, Minister for Small Business, Export Promotion and International Trade, Government of Canada. His Excellency Mr. Cong Pei-wu, Chinese Ambassador to Canada. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm honored to attend today's online celebration. I pay my respect to the organizing committee for putting together this virtual celebration during the extraordinary period of pandemic to celebrate the 50th anniversary of China and Canada diplomatic relationship and Manitoba's 150th birthday. On behalf of Sichuan Provincial Federation of Overseas Chinese Cultural Exchange Promotion Committee, I'd like to extend my warm congratulations to the celebration. This year marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relationship between China and Canada. Leaders of two countries have exchanged frequent visits, and bilateral relationships have achieved considerable development. Winnipeg has twinned with Chengdu as sister city since February the 24th, 1988, and is one of the first cities to twin with Chengdu. Chengdu is the world capital of Panda, and Winnipeg gives birth to the name of Winnie the Pooh. Since becoming sister cities, the relationship between two cities have rapidly cozied up. Looking back on January the 2nd, 2015, the entire city of Winnipeg had an unprecedented Chengdu Day. On the photo exhibits that day, Chengdu specially brought in a lovely snapshot of polar bears presented by Winnipeg to Chengdu. Related celebrations and art exhibitions lasted for a full month. When the Chengdu Sichuan Opera's face-changing art ran into Mozart's Symphony at the Winnipeg Chinese Cultural Center, all audience could not help but clap their hands and exclaim. I'm pleased to learn that this celebration is jointly organized by ethnic Chinese and Canadians living in Winnipeg. This is a witness to the friendly exchange between the two peoples. There are many international students and immigrants from Sichuan in Manitoba, contributing to promotion of cultural and economic exchanges between Manitoba and Sichuan. Friendly exchanges between peoples from both countries form the bridge between Canada and China. 50 years of cultural and education exchanges enable two people to strengthen the foundation of public opinion for friendly cooperation. Cultural and art exchange is a project in the public interest, also a future project. We specially select the Tianfu Sichuan and the Tianfu Chengdu video for this event. We hope that friends in Manitoba will have a deeper understanding of Sichuan province and Chengdu city in China. After pandemic, we welcome you to visit our beautiful place. We expect the breadth and depth of cultural and artistic exchanges continue to grow. Friendship between two peoples will surely promote the better development of long-standing friendship between two countries in the new era. Wishing the friendship between Canada and China everlasting. Wishing this virtual celebration a great success. Song Wenli.
河北省侨联发来贺信，祝贺中加建交50周年暨曼省150年。
The Hebei Provincial Federation of Overseas Chinese has sent a congratulatory letter to congratulate the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Canada and the 150th anniversary of Manitoba entering Canadian Confederation.
中加建交50周年 暨迈省150年活动组委会。值此中加建交50周年之际，新闻贵组委会举办中加建交50周年暨迈省150年活动，河北省归国华侨联合会谨致热烈祝贺。向出席活动的中华人民共和国驻加拿大特命全权大使聪培武先生、加拿大联邦政府国际贸易部部长、小型企业与出口部部长武凤仪女士致以崇高敬意，向一直以来热心中加友好交流的各位朋友们表示衷心感谢。河北人民与加拿大人民的友谊源远流长。著名的国际主义战士白求恩先生生前长期在河北工作生活，与当地百姓结下了深厚的友谊。他的光辉事迹和伟大精神已成为联系两国人民的精神纽带，搭起了中加双方友谊的桥梁。河北省也与加拿大相关部门、地区建立了友好亲密的联系与交往。双方交往频繁，合作成果丰硕，民间交往更加密切。50年来，旅居加拿大的华侨华人在平安健康发展的同时，积极融入与回馈当地社会，不断增进两国人民之间的了解，通过民间渠道为中加友好做出了积极贡献。河北省文化底蕴深厚，自然风光秀美，产业优势突出，区位优势明显。当前，河北人民正紧紧围绕2个百年奋斗目标，聚焦经济协同发展、雄安新区规划建设，筹办北京冬奥会等千载难逢的发展机遇，高标准谋划“14·5”奋斗目标，团结一心，锐意进取，齐心协力，为新时代经济强省、美丽河北而努力奋斗。真诚希望朋友们珍惜友谊，凝聚共识，团结协力，发挥优势，为促进中加友好做出新贡献。真诚欢迎各位朋友到河北做客，畅叙友谊，共话明天。祝庆典活动圆满成功，祝中加人民友谊长存。河北省归国华侨联合会2020年12月16日。
Dated December 16, 2020, from Hebei Provincial Federation of Returned Overseas Chinese Government of Hebei Province to the Organizing Committee for the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Canada and the 150th anniversary of Manitoba. We are pleased to learn that you have organized this 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Canada and the 150th birthday of Manitoba. Hebei Provincial Federation of Returned Overseas Chinese would like to extend warm congratulations. We would like to pay high tribute to His Excellency Mr.聪培武, the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the People's Republic of China to Canada, and Her Honorable Mary Ng, Minister of Small Business, Export Promotion and International Trade of the Canadian Federal Government. We would like to express our sincere thanks to all friends who have been enthusiastic about friendly exchange between China and Canada. The friendship between the people of Hebei Province and Canada has a long history. The famous internationalist volunteer, Mr. Dr. Norman Bethune, worked and lived in our Hebei Province in the 1930s for a long time and forged a profound friendship with the Hebei local people. These glorious deeds and great spirits have become the spiritual bond connecting the two peoples and have built a bridge of friendship between China and Canada. Hebei Province has also established friendly and intimate contacts and exchanges with relevant Canadian authorities and regions. We have frequent exchanges fruitful result of cooperations and closer non-governmental exchanges. Over the past 50 years, the overseas Chinese living in Canada has been actively integrating and giving back to the local society, continuously enhancing the understanding between the two peoples and the two countries, and making positive contribution to Canada-China friendship through our people. Hebei province has profound cultural heritage, beautiful natural scenery, outstanding industrial advantages, and obvious location advantage. Currently, the people of Hebei province are firmly embracing the two centenary goals, focusing on the coordinated development of Beijing, Tianjin, Hebei, planning and implementing the Xiong'an New Development, as well as preparing for the Beijing Winter Olympics. We are forging ahead and making concerted effort to strive for an economically strong province and beautiful Hebei in a new era. We sincerely hope that our friends will cherish friendship and build consensus, unite and work together to take advantages of our mutually beneficial cooperations and make new contributions to promoting Canada-China friendships. We sincerely welcome all Canadian friends to come to visit our Hebei province and talk about our friendship and future. We wish the celebration a complete success. We wish the friendship between the Chinese and Canadian people everlasting. Thank you.
山东省菏泽市与曼省皮纳瓦市在教育、文化、科技等方面有广泛的交流。菏泽市政府前外办主任马敬清先生发来贺信，并展示了菏泽市与皮纳瓦市友好交往的历史记录。有请马敬清。
As a city in Shandong Province and Pinawa City in Manitoba have extensive exchanges in education, culture, and technology. Mr. Ma Zhangkang, the former director of the Foreign Affairs Office of Hebei City Government, sent a congratulatory letter which talks about the historic and friendly exchanges between Hebei and Pinawa.
To Manitoba Celebration Committee for the 50th anniversary of Canada-China diplomatic relationship and Manitoba's 150th birthday, December 8th, 2020. China and Canada have established diplomatic relationship for 50 years. With the joint efforts of both parties, the Sino-Canada relation has made considerable progress. Collaborations between two nations in the fields of politics, economy and trades, culture and education have achieved remarkable results, bringing tangible benefits to the people. China and Canada have supported each other, hand by hand, actively cooperate to fight against COVID-19. As a former director of Foreign Affairs Office of Heze People's Government, I experienced and witnessed the highlights of the friendships and cooperation between the two countries. On the occasion of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and Canada, I am delighted to express the sincerest blessings that the celebration will be a great success and the friendship between China and Canada and its people will last forever. As one of the major cities in the Central Economic Zone of China, Heze Municipal Government adheres to the attitude of open exchanges and win-win cooperation. In the past 3 years, Heze has conducted several mutual multifaceted communications and visitations with Pinawa and Winnipeg in Manitoba, and established strong friendships with each other. In April of 2017, a delegation from Eastern Manitoba led by Pinawa Mayor Blair Skinner and Senior Economic Development Officer Shane Lee visited our city and started great discussions for future cooperation opportunities in the fields of economy and trades, technology and innovation, education, and tourism. In July of the same year, Fu Longzhao, former Deputy Secretary of Heze Economic Development Zone, led the government officers and business leaders to visit and explore opportunities for cooperation in Pinawa and Winnipeg. In the end of 2018, Mr. Stuart Hendrickson, the board chair of North Forge, the largest technology accelerator in Manitoba and the chairman of Redleaf Capital, a well-known venture capital firm in Manitoba, was also invited to come to our city for an in-depth business exploration and discussion. Now we sincerely hope that Heze will accelerate our cooperation with Pinawa and Winnipeg in Manitoba, continually build our friendship and cooperate in areas of technological innovation, business investment, cultural exchanges, tourism, education, and other aspects to make more contributions to the development of the two regions and the friendships between China and Canada. Ma Jingqing, former Director of Foreign Affairs Office of Heze People's Government.
曼省矿业协会会长赖萨弗罗奈兹先生，由于其他安排无法参加本次庆祝活动，特发来贺信如下。
Mining is a hugely important industry for Manitoba. We're very pleased to have greetings from the Mining Association. We are both an important supplier of minerals to China. As I speak to you today, I'm in Thompson, Manitoba, which has a nickel mine which exports significant amounts of nickel to China. But in the neighboring community of Woboden, it's Chinese investment that has opened the mine before and is working on opening the mine in that community as well. We are very pleased that Lal Safranetz, the president of the Mining Association of Manitoba, even though he was unable to attend in person, did send the following letter of greetings.
曼省原住民联合会主席戴维德·沙川先生也发来了贺信。
David Chartrand, President of Manitoba Métis Federation, has sent in the following greetings. Greeting to you all from the President of the Manitoba Métis Federation. Winnipeg is at the heart of Métis homeland, where the Métis Nation was created centuries ago. Manitoba is the only province brought into confederation by an indigenous nation. The homeland is in Western Canada, while the Métis Nation is the largest indigenous nation in Canada. The Manitoba Métis Federation has been celebrating along with all Manitobans, and indeed all Canadians, the 150th anniversary of Manitoba officially becoming the 5th province to join Confederation. We, the Métis Nations, Manitoba Métis, have our own distinct culture which shaped Manitoba's identity and continues to do so. Throughout our history, we were the economic engine that propelled the Red River settlement, now the capital city of Manitoba, forward. This entrepreneurial spirit still flourishes today. The Manitoba Federation's, Métis Federation's business relationships continue to grow and expand, building on our existing partnership as well as forging new ones. We embrace opportunities for economic growth. Our importing and exporting developments in sectors such as housing, the steel industry, and working on fishery with China are good examples of beneficial outcome and for strengthening diplomatic relationships. We are looking to expand our partnership with China. On behalf of our MNF cabinet, the Manitoba Métis wish you all well for an excellent evening celebrating 50 years of Canada diplomatic relationship with China. Best wishes to you and your loved one. 新年快乐，恭喜发财. Have a happy and prosperous New Year's. President David Chartrand, LLD, Honor, OM. Thank you.
麦省公立学院 ACC 的代理副校长和国际学生项目部主管也参加了我们今天的活动，感谢 ACC 的支持。
We're very honored to have the acting vice president, international of Assiniboine Community College, Danielle Adriasen, and Paige Janan, the international coordinator of Assiniboine Community College, on Zoom, joining us tonight. As I've said before, post-secondary education is a very important part of Manitoba, and we're very pleased. I know Assiniboine Community College in particular has a very strong relationship with China. Many international students from China. Thank you to the Assiniboine Community College for your support and participation tonight. I do want to acknowledge a number of other individuals tonight, very prominent individuals who are also joining us. I'd like to begin with Glenn Hudson, the chief of Peguis First Nation, which is the largest First Nation in Canada. Peguis is very involved in many areas, particularly in terms of economic development. So I would like to acknowledge his presence and his involvement tonight. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Christy Popovich, the president of Assiniboine Chamber of Commerce, also AJ Chopra from the Assiniboine Chamber of Commerce. I think it's important to note the Assiniboine Chamber of Commerce, which is based in Winnipeg, is a strong promoter of business and relations with international businesses as well. So I welcome them, and it's a good reminder of the degree to which Winnipeg in particular is a very international city, as many of our communities in Manitoba are. I want to also, if I could, acknowledge the involvement tonight of Malaya Marcelino, the member of the Legislative Assembly for Notre Dame, and certainly appreciate her joining us. I do want to mention as well that Flora Marcelino, the former leader of the Manitoba NDP, a very good friend of the Chinese community, has also joined us. And I would acknowledge as well Tom Bakshanoff, who's the former minister, also the president of the Canada Eurasia Russia business chapter in Winnipeg.
感谢所有嘉宾的致辞，也感谢所有参与者的聆听。下面我们一起来欣赏中国四川省和成都市，以及加拿大曼省和温尼伯市的迷人风光。
So we've now heard greetings from a cross-section of Manitoba, but it is not over yet. And now, as we would do at a reception, at a banquet, after we have listened to all the honored guests and all the presenters, it's now time for the showcase. And we're particularly appreciate the opportunity now now that we've enjoyed the fascinating scenery of Sichuan province, of Chengdu in China, and Manitoba, Winnipeg in Canada, the upcoming program. Stay tuned. There's much more to come yet.
9天开出一成都，万户千门入画图。唐代大诗人李白的眼中，成都自然天成，美丽富庶，天府之国，生生不息。成都因天府之国和休闲之都的美誉而成名。1年成聚，2年成邑，3年成都。成都，一座有着4500年城市文明的历史文化名城，以宝墩、三星堆、金沙遗址为代表的古蜀文明，是古代中国文明的重要起源中心之一。2300多年前，李冰父子建造的都江堰水利工程，开启了天府之国水旱从人不知饥馑的辉煌篇章。成都自古拥有创新创造的基因，世界第1张纸币交子诞生在成都，世界最古老的织机制造了花重锦官城的美名。文翁实事，中国第1所地方官办学校，朗朗的读书声，西汉至今绵延不绝。
长寒西林千秋雪，能拨动5万里船。
当代中国第1支显像管，改革开放后第1张股票，中国第1次双创指数发布，无不闪耀着成都人聪慧勤巧的秉性。成都外揽山水之优，内得人文之盛。西汉时期，卓文君、司马相如才情相悦。唐代大诗人杜甫在这里度过了一生中最温暖的时光。成都乐观包容的城市气质，成就了天下诗人皆入蜀的盛名。
我用1个字来形容我们的成都的历史文化的严格，那就是文。文史风瞻就是成都，文质彬彬就是我们成都人。
今天的成都是中国最具幸福感城市，被世界旅游组织评为中国最佳旅游城市。成都，一座来了就不想离开的城市。成都因建设国家级天府新区和国家中心城市而成长。今天的成都拥有新1线城市的首位综合竞争力，传统文化与时尚潮流交相辉映，历史沉淀与现代文明和谐共生。全球知名城市评级机构 GAWC 发布世界城市评价报告，成都城市综合竞争力迈入世界城市100强。今天的成都拥有新经济时代的现代化产业体系，助推成都国际竞争力和区域带动力优质聚合。今天的成都拥有国际化的大开放格局，作为中国距离欧洲最近的国家中心城市，100多条国际航线通达全球。兴建中的天府国际机场让成都成为中国内地第3个拥有双国际机场的城市。未来年旅客量将增长至每年1.5亿人次。 成都与全球200多个国家和地区建立经贸关系。世界500强企业近300家落户成都，20家领事机构的进驻，奠定了中国领馆第3城的地位。
There are many opportunities here for Australia in Chengdu, and these have just grown stronger with the recent signing of the China-Australia Free Trade Agreement. But I guess what I would say is for anyone coming to Chengdu from anywhere in the world, you can always find somewhere to feel at home.
今天的成都拥有大众创业、万众创新的浓厚氛围。成都不为地域、不求所有、不拘一格的新人才观，让融漂成为时代风尚。今天的成都拥有优质卓越的营商环境，正加快国际化、法治化、便利化的进程。成都因国家西部大开发和“一带一路”倡议而成功。西部大开发赋予成都引领带动西部加快发展的历史使命。站在国家“一带一路”与长江经济带战略交汇点，成都正在实现由内陆到门户、由盆地到高地、由开放后排到发展前列的历史性转变。蓉欧快铁成都始发，11天直达欧洲腹地。成都是世界的机会。
Chengdu has truly become the gateway to the West and has been able to establish itself as a very prominent supply chain hub for China to the rest of the world.
唐代大诗人杜甫吟诵的“窗含西岭千秋雪”，是今天成都人在阳台远眺的一道风景。泡一盏清茶，捧一册好书，贯穿了历代成都人的生活。守一方山水，留一份清幽。天府绿道将重现绿满龙城、花重锦官、水润天府的画卷。
建立我正确的价值观和人生观的时候，我正好在成都。它很青春，很火辣，很时尚，让我成长很多，对我现在也是受益匪浅。
创新创造是成都与生俱来的文化基因，优雅时尚是成都别样精彩的文化特质。乐观包容是成都兼容并蓄的文化气度，友善公益是成都外化于形的文化表达。成都厚积千年的文化温度，透射出天府文化的澎湃力量，成为成都历久弥新的人文魅力。天府成都，一座来了就不想离开的城市。
成都，成都，成都，成都，成都，成都，成都，成都。
Here, the sun shines. and still waters run deep. Here, we show our roots. And learn from the stories of those who have gone before. Here, we celebrate everything. And invite everyone to join the party. Here, unexpected adventures await. Here, Canada's heart beats.
The Winnipeg Whiteout. There's nothing like it in all of sports. But it's about more than just hockey. The Whiteout represents a passion for Winnipeg and the things that make our city an amazing place to live, work, and play. That passion, it's alive all 12 months of the year. And we want to share it with the world. This is Winnipeg. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights. Its stunning design has changed the Winnipeg skyline, but its message is even more powerful. It provides a stirring account of the human experience unlike anything you'll ever witness. The Forks, the place where two rivers meet. It's been a gathering place for over 6,000 years. Today, it's still a meeting place for locals and visitors alike, and home to some of our city's biggest celebrations. Assiniboine Park Zoo, home to Journey to Churchill, where you'll discover the magic of the North and get up close to the majestic polar bear. It's not just our amazing attractions that make this one great city. International companies who are leaders in their industries choose to call this place home. In fact, Winnipeg has the third highest number of head offices per capita in Canada. Companies like New Flyer, the largest transit bus manufacturer in North America. You can hop aboard New Flyer buses in cities like Nashville, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C. James Richardson & Sons. This company is older than Canada itself and one of the largest and most innovative grain trade and agri-food businesses in the world. CWB National Leasing. Over the last 40 years, it's become Canada's largest equipment financing company, working with over 70,000 businesses. They started in Winnipeg and stayed here. Payworks. The workforce management company now serves 17,000 businesses across Canada. What's even more impressive is the company's Pay It Forward philosophy. Its employees spend countless hours giving back to their communities. They truly embrace what it means to be a Winnipegger. Why do we choose Winnipeg to live, work, and play? It's the people. Our company leaders have a collective passion for growing their businesses. They work together so everyone succeeds. We have a high quality of life. We're a year-round playground. This year, the center of North America is taking center stage. We're ready for our close-up. We are Winnipeg.
大家期待已久的下半场精彩节目马上登场，请大家欣赏节目后给我们留言，把您最喜欢的节目告诉我们。谢谢大家。Thank you all.
Now, the long-awaited show in the second half of this event is coming up immediately. Now, I want to ask one thing. There are many elements of the show you're going to see, but we want to know what your favorite show is. Please message us And please watch this in its entirety. It is quite something. As we have been reminded this year of the limitations of being able to get out with the pandemic, we are bringing world-class entertainment to you. Thank you all.
What are the secrets behind the success? There is sweat, tears, tenacity, pain, and failure. There are also hundreds of rehearsals and perseverance. They firmly believe, no cross, no crown. Maybe there are moments when they almost give up. But looking at the trophies in the display, they are fully recharged with strength and motivation. This is where the dream starts. From the rehearsal hall to the performing stage, we can tell from their determined looks and proud shouts that their dreams have been realized. Wuqiao County in Hebei Province has always been known as the hometown of acrobatics. In Wuqiao, the art of acrobatics is also known as the playing art. People there have profound avocation for acrobatics. Whether on the street, or in the wheat fields, or even in front of their dining table, they would turn somersaults or perform some magic. Wuqiao acrobatics was also approved by the State Council of China to be included in the first batch of National Intangible Cultural Heritage lists. Acrobatics have become an integral part of the local people. This is a blend of humanities and skills. Wuqiao Acrobatic Troupe has undoubtedly gained recognition at home and abroad. It has not only become the pride of the people of Changzhou City, but also stimulated the development of the industry and made a new look for the city. The smiles on people's faces justify their love for acrobatics. They are proud to be a part of the community and do not hesitate to share the joy with people around the world. Wuqiao County always sincerely welcomes everyone to have a taste of the local culture. Now let's welcome Wuqiao Acrobatic Troupe and bring us to the wonderful world of magics. The next acrobatic performance is 挥风晚运, bench balancing act brought by Anhui Acrobatic Troupe. It is a cultural symbol with unique expressions, creative movements of high difficulty, and regional characteristics. The performer has to lift on his head more than a dozen benches, weighing tens of kilograms. It is time to appreciate this acrobatic performance with precision, wonder, adventure, and beauty. Acrobatics is a diversified group. We have just enjoyed the magic of Wuqiao Acrobatics. I'm not sure if we have come out of the magic world or are eager to get a taste of other forms of art. Wuqiao Acrobatic Troupe will bring us the performance of Monocycle, which was awarded the 15th China Wuqiao International Acrobatic Art Festival Gold Award. Enjoy! The performers of 善舞丹青 utilize folding fans that extend the expressiveness of the art to interpret the charm and beauty of China's national calligraphy. It dynamically demonstrated dance on paper. It accurately depicts the spirit of Chinese classical culture, integrating classical dance, painting, and music into one, creating a dilute, elegant, and lofty mood. Now, let's look forward to 善舞丹青, brought to us by Sheyang Acrobatic Troupe of Jiangsu Province. Yaoxin Guwu is an acrobatic show elaborately prepared by Guangxi Acrobatic Troupe. It integrates Guangxi's traditional stage arts, such as folk song, wenchang, and drawn opera. It has won many domestic and international awards because of its original characteristics, theatrical and comprehensive presentation, and its innovative methods. Let's enjoy the performers juggling drum with foot. We're now halfway through the ceremony, but don't worry, there's more to come. The next is performed by a group of enthusiastic young girls. They will combine the skills, dance, and modeling to show us some difficult tricks while roaming freely in the world of bicycles. It requires the performers to not only be vigorous, but also needs to accurately calculate and master the time difference between rise and fall points. Let's look forward to the girls from Hebei Acrobatic Troupe Performing Arts Company. performance is brought to us by Canadian artist Angelica Bongiovanni, who has won numerous international awards, including but not limited to prestigious awards from 11 different circus festivals all over the world. Her approach to the serial reel is sensitive and intuitive. She combines acrobatics and dance in a search for fluidity, lightness, and musicality to provoke a beautiful nostalgia. Now, let's welcome Angelica. The next performance is inspired by the representative work of the famous Russian painter, Ayvazovsky. It depicts a group of optimistic, open-minded, brave, and fearless young sailors conquering the most sinister fates. It has won the first place in the Golden Tiger Award because of its unique creativity. Please enjoy the thrilling acrobatics performance brought to us by China Acrobatic Troupe, the Level 9 Wave.
女士们、先生们、朋友们，伴随着精彩节目的结束，我们本次活动也进入了尾声。在此，感谢各界朋友的参与和支持，并特别鸣谢各位主讲嘉宾、致辞嘉宾，以及为我们呈现精彩节目的各方支持单位。同时，我们也要感谢本次活动的组委会全体成员、活动的承办单位加拿大国际教育服务中心、成都汇仁国际酒店管理有限公司。愿中家友谊绵长，祝曼省生日快乐！谢谢大家，再见。Thank you.
So we come to a close after an amazing evening. I would like to make one more very significant acknowledgement, and that is to acknowledge the presence tonight virtually of Philip Lee, a very good friend, and the Lieutenant Governor, the 24th Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, recipient of the Order of Canada, a very good friend. And thank you, Philip Lee and Mrs. Lee, for joining us. I'd like to make a number of acknowledgements. This acknowledgement is really out to the people that made this possible. And I can tell you that as one of the organizing committee members, we really want to acknowledge the work of George Wong and Hui Yong Zhang. Both George and Yong have been very significant organizers, along with David Wan. I'd like to thank the many organizations that were supportive of this initiative. The Canadian International Education Service Center, Chengdu Florin International Hotel Management Limited, and the many supporting organizations, many of whom brought greetings today, but particular thanks to the organizing office of the China Waikio International Circus Festival, to Folkorama, the Airport Authority in Winnipeg, the LGD of Pinawa, the Town of Churchill, the Mining Association, the Manitoba Port Council, Assiniboine Community College, Heartland International English School, the Canadian Scenery Travel, and IDO Media and Print. Many thanks to the event planning team, in particular, Ms. Likyun Liu, Ms. Amy Yi, and Johnson Zhuang. I want to give a special thanks to Ms. Sunny Han-Ning Lee, who's the narrator on the entertainment programs, and of course to my co-MC, Ms. Likyun Liu, on a terrific job. I just want to leave you with a final few words, because I think this was very historic tonight. Thank you so much to all the speakers from different levels of government. Thank you to those that were part of that overwhelming cultural entertainment program. Tonight, we reflected on the historic relationship between Canada and China with its strong roots in Manitoba. We had the opportunity to reflect on just how much that relationship has grown in the last 50 years. As we shared the beauty of China and Canada, the strong cultural connections, and the growing economic connections, one thing is clear. The relationship between Canada and China, and particularly Manitoba's relationship on a regional basis with our regional partners in China, is of benefit to all of us. Tonight was also a reminder that we're all making history, and I really believe that tonight's virtual reception was history, unique in its kind, connecting Canada and China virtually in this very challenging time. So as we came together in Canada and China to reflect on the last 50 years of history, tonight we made history with this unique event. As we make our own history, let's ensure that the strong relationship, the real friendship that has been established between Canada and China over the last 50 years will be even stronger in the future. Thank you. Goodbye.